Hi everybody, it's Trisha Lee, and we're just coming up on the closing of 2013, and so I just wanted to make this quick video to give you a little year in review. And I must say, this year has been the best year of my entire life, most definitely. And I know that 2014 is going to hold even more wonderful experiences. It just keeps getting better, and like the Beatles really had it right when they said it's getting a little better all the time, because it truly is. There are problems out there in this world, but there are millions of people out there that are working tirelessly to find solutions to create a better planet for future generations. And it's just really encouraging when you look around and you see the people that are doing this. Like, for example, Project AWOL raising $20,000 to build 2 schools in Kenya is absolutely phenomenal, because what actually had happened is they set out to, okay, we can build a school in Kenya. They found out the information and they said, it'll cost us $10,000. So they set out to raise $10,000, and within a week they had over 15,000. And they said, oh my goodness, well, if we can just raise another $5,000, then we can build 2 schools. And that's exactly what they did. So yeah, people like a community like that, and there's all kinds of other people around the world that are really, really doing their part to solve the problems that exist on the planet and make the world a better place for everyone. And so for me, what's made this year so amazing is in January, I started a home business, and I was able to quit my full-time job and transition to working part-time here. Whereas before I was working 2 jobs, I was completely exhausted, and I still just didn't have the financial resources that I was after, even though I was working tirelessly 12, 14-hour days and just exhausted 7 days a week. And well, the 9 to 5 was only 5 days a week, but this gig's 7 days a week. And yeah, I knew when I started this, hey, this is my passion. And it was I always dreaded leaving here to rush off to my other job, but I was able to leave that that world behind. And I started with Project AWOL, and when I started with them, all this crazy stuff started happening. So I decided to go to Las Vegas for a Herbalife event, and my grandparents are snowbirds, so they travel from up here in Canada down to Phoenix, Arizona every winter, and spend their winters in Phoenix. And so I thought, well, why don't I fly out to Phoenix? I'll visit them for a couple days, and then I'll head over to Vegas. And I just caught a bus over there. So I booked my flight, made my plans, and then my business partner said, hey, when is it that you're going to be in Phoenix? And I told him the dates, and he said, oh, well, you were just invited to this solar power conference at the Hilton Hotel in, I believe it was Henderson, Nevada? No, it was in Phoenix. It was some little town outside of Phoenix. I can't remember what it was called. But so I was like, oh, wow. So I got to go and be a part of this concentrated solar power convention. And I got to go tour this huge solar power facility that they were just putting online out in the Arizona desert. And it was just an amazing opportunity. And it was just mind-blowing how they sent out the invitation, and it just happened to fall on the exact dates that I was just going to be there hanging out with my grandpa. And I think that it was way more powerful of an experience to go there and network with all of these solar power industry people, and rather than just hang out with my grandpa and go shopping with his girlfriend. So it actually ended up being an amazing, amazing experience. And after I found out about the solar power convention, I got made some money, and so I contacted my sponsor with Project AWOL, and I said, would it be more beneficial for me to buy all of the Empower products, or would it be better if I went to this event in Chicago? And he said, go to Chicago, which totally surprised me. It totally surprised me, because I thought for sure he was going to say, yeah, buy the products, because he would have got, at the time it would have been $4,500 in commissions had I bought those products at that time. But he actually advised me to go to their event in Chicago. So I went to the event in Chicago. I didn't want to go because I was flying to Phoenix on Tuesday, and the event was the weekend before. So I flew to Chicago Friday night, got there Saturday morning, missed the first part of the event, but had my mind absolutely blown in Chicago on Saturday. And then Saturday night, Project AWOL was having a team party, and I went there and I just about fell over, because I was like, what is going on here? These three fellas, Cam, Glenn, and Dakota, just young guys, they all look like they're in their 20s to me, and they had this huge mansion that they had rented in Chicago, and they had the mansion full of people, full of food, beer, fridge full of beer. And I was like, how are these young fellas doing this? How can they afford this? I just didn't understand what was going on. And so I just kind of had my mind completely blown, and I was like, yeah, I'm really glad I came here, because I see that you guys have something that I really want. And now that I'm here, I'm going to figure out how to get it. So I started talking with our leaders, and the one fella, Dakota, I didn't get to meet him at the party. So the next day at the event, I saw him in the corridor. And so I kind of went up to him and I said, hey, I seen your video on the internet, and I didn't get a chance to meet you last night, and I just wanted to say hello. And he's from Edmonton. So I said, yeah, hey, like, if you're ever around Edmonton, I'd like to get together and get to know you better and figure out how you are making all of this money on the internet, because I really need to do that. Because of course, we're raising money for patents and safety testing for this amazing solar power device that we've put together, and it's just the best thing ever. It's going to save the world billions of dollars in utilities costs, and more importantly than that, it is going to save us a ton of greenhouse gas emissions, because with our system of generating power as well as heat, so we've taken the power of the sun, and we're using both the heat and light energy to make electricity, as well as using heat for whatever you want. What we really want to do is store the heat, so that when the sun goes down, you can continue to make power, and it's the best thing ever. I know that this next year is going to be even crazier than the last year, and I really thought that it was going to be pretty tough to top my 2012, because we got to travel to Germany in 2012 to a solar power, the world's largest solar power conference, the Solar Power International in Munich, which is held there every year, and we plan on going again 2014. So at the end of 2012, I was like, oh, well, nothing's going to beat this year. This year's just been awesome. And then when I met Dakota and was saying, hey, if you're ever around Edmonton, let's get together. And he's like, well, why wait? I won't be in Edmonton for a long time, but why wait? Come to Thailand. Because these guys were all living out in Thailand, and I'd kind of heard about their Thailand show that they were going to make, and I thought, oh, that's the coolest thing ever. But I thought, I can't do that. I don't have the money. I don't feel that confident traveling alone. Of course, I had my business partner when I went to Germany, but I don't know about traveling all the way to Asia by myself. And I just kind of thought, no, I can't do that. And then I got back from, and then so Chicago, so I attended the event Sunday, and it was just amazing, and met all these fascinating, fabulous people, and they were all so friendly, and they were just amazing. It was just amazing. It was like all normal people, but just doing extraordinary things out there on the internet. And I was like, wow, I so need to really get a better sense of what's going on here. Like, I just kind of felt like I didn't make any videos with the leaders when I was there. I wasn't taking pictures. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't really understand it or know what was going on. And then so I just kind of went and shook hands with some of the people that I had seen in the training and within the community, and I got my mind blown. So I flew out of Chicago Sunday night, and my connecting flight was delayed. I wasn't going to make it, and so I actually ended up spending the night in St. Louis, and it was cool. I kind of like wanted to stay and hang out, but I spent the night there, and then they had this Mall of America. It's like the biggest mall, and I don't know, I've heard of it. I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to check out, but I got to get home. I got to fly to Phoenix on Tuesday. So Monday morning, I flew back. I was supposed to be home Sunday night, but I didn't get home till Monday afternoon, and got home, emptied my suitcase, filled it back up again, and the next day I was off to Arizona. But when I was in Chicago, and I talked to Dakota at the event, and he said, hey, come to Thailand. Like I said, can't do it. Well, when I got home, this was mind-blowing, blew my mind that this happened. I got home, and I said, okay. Well, before I went home, when I was in Arizona, I said, Larry, my business partner, I need you to deposit this money in my account. And I went ahead and I bought the Costa Rica $500 product and the $1,000 15K product. And I said, okay, and I started doing the training while I was there. And in Vegas, I started looking. Well, in Vegas, gosh, so you don't get any internet, so I couldn't really do it there. But in Phoenix, I was looking at the training quite a bit that I just purchased. And so there was one more product that I needed to get, the $3,500 master's course. And so once I got home from Las Vegas, I pooled my resources and got it together. And I was like, okay, I'm buying this product. So I sat down on my computer with my credit card. I had phoned my bank earlier that day and let them know about the transaction that I was going to be making for the $3,500. And I went ahead and clicked the buy button, and my payment is processing. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. And I was sitting there, and all of a sudden my phone rang. And when I picked it up, it was this fella that I had met on the bus in Phoenix, because I had taken a bus from the Hilton to as close as I could get to my grandpa's, and then caught a cab from like the Circle K or whatever over to his place, because he didn't have bus service out to his fancy cul-de-sac or where he lives there. So I had hopped on a bus to save like $20 on a cab or whatever. And there was this guy, and he just kind of looked at me. He's like, where are you from? Because you could see that I didn't really look like I fit in there. So my big cowboy hat with a maple leaf, it's like, oh yeah, I'm from Canada. Oh yeah, okay, I knew you were from around here, because people don't walk around Phoenix in cowboy hats. At least I didn't see any, but I was wearing my big cowboy hat. So he was like wanting to talk to me and find out what my story was, because I was all dressed up in business attire for this conference. And yeah, I just didn't look like someone who should be riding on a bus, right? It's like, where's your car, lady? Or why aren't you in a cab? And it's like, well, I'm going to be getting in a cab, but saving a few dollars to get a little closer to my location before I hop in the cab. So I started chatting with him on the bus, and I had my camera with me. And so I just happened to, I did make a couple videos in Chicago when they said, oh, now's the time to take pictures. And so I'm like, okay, now I whip out my video cameras. And when they suggested that you could take pictures during the event, it was right during the time when they were handing out people's big cardboard game show checks to show how much commissions they had earned in the Empower Network. And so I was talking to this guy about the Empower Network, and I hadn't made the decision, or but I wanted to go, but I hadn't actually taken any steps to making that happen at the time. but I just said it. I said, oh, and I'm going to Thailand in May. And so this guy was like, wow, because I told him, I'm going to Las Vegas next, and I just got back from Chicago, and I'm going to Thailand. And he was like, wow, you travel a lot. And it's like, this year I have traveled more this year than in the previous 10 years before. I did way more traveling. So I told him I was going to Thailand. I said, wow, you travel a lot. How can you afford to do that? And I said, oh, I'm in the Empower Network, da 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 da. And he didn't know that I hadn't made any sales yet, and that I just started, and I had really no idea what I was doing, and that just this Chicago event had finally like clicked it in my head that, hey, you need to pay attention to this. And so I whipped out my camera and I started showing him the video of these people getting their big checks, and he saw that and he was kind of like, oh wow, that's wow, that's in 3 months. They made that in 3 months. I'm like, yeah, that's how much money they made in 3 months. It's amazing. And I was telling him about Jesse Monsma, and he's this 12-year-old guy who made $12,000 in 3 months. And so this young fella, he was really excited. I guess he worked for some kind of magazine or something, he was telling me. And he told me, he's like, yeah, that's something that I might want to try. And so I gave him my card. And then when I got home, and like I said, I purchased that big ticket product, and it was within the hour, less than an hour, I got a phone call from this fella that I met on the bus, and he said, yeah, next week when I get my paycheck, I'm going to start marketing, and I'm going to go all in. And I tried not to get all excited and start screaming into the phone. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Right on. Okay, well, if you have any questions, let me know. And then I ended up calling him back and telling him to get on the Empower Hour call on Monday. And yeah, a week later, I got a notification, and I was like, wow, okay. I guess I can take this money and go to Thailand now. And of course, the price of an all-in sale wasn't completely going to cover the cost of the trip, but it was enough that I could take it. And then with a little help from Auntie Visa and Uncle MasterCard, I actually made it to Thailand. And I actually still owed money for the trip when I got there. And it wasn't until I think 2 months after I got back that I was able to pay the rest of the balance of what the trip cost. And so I got to go to Thailand. I traveled all the way to Asia all by myself. It was a little intimidating, but I made it, and it was an amazing experience. It absolutely changed my life for the better and forever. And I just since I got back from Thailand, I've just been really, really focused on making videos and just sharing the things that I'm doing, because I realized that even before Empower Network, I was the kind of person that just did these crazy things that other people don't do, like going to Texas, going to Germany with unproven technology, and just to meet people and tell people about it. I realized most business owners wouldn't take that kind of a risk. Like we didn't even have some of the patenting secured when we took this equipment out there, and people are looking at it, and we totally were putting ourselves on the line of somebody coming along and looking at what we did and figuring it out, doing it themselves and getting a patent before us. But fortunately, thanks to the Empower Network and Project AWOL, we were able to finance a second patent on our solar power device. And so yeah, it keeps getting better and better. All these amazing, miraculous coincidences and people have been showing up in our lives and just helping us progress forward with our business. And I just know that this next year is going to be a heck of a ride. So I guess I'll leave it at that. I really appreciate those of you who are checking out my videos and that are interested in our solar power or recycling or music or horses or any of the things that I've been sharing. I'd love to hear from you. And I want to help you to make 2014 powerful in your life. There's no reason that when, like, for example, when we heard about Texas, I didn't have any money to go to Texas. I didn't have any idea of what it even, what being in a trade show even was. I had no idea. I'd been to a trade show, but I'd never had a booth at a trade show or really even understood the expense that goes along with a trade show. But we heard about it and we thought, yeah, that sounds cool. I thought, let's do it. And even though I didn't know how, I figured it out. We found a way. We made it. And same with Germany. We have this opportunity to go to Germany. They want us to participate in this trade show because we had went to Texas. We'd made all these contacts, and yeah, they just invited us. So it was like, well, don't know how I can get the money to go to Germany. I don't know how I can take the time off work. I don't know how to make it happen, but it sounds cool. It sounds like something that I want to do. Let's figure it out. And me and my business partner, we found the money, figured out a way to, and actually with Texas, it was really funny, is that we had a big hailstorm and was able to claim damage, the hail damage on the car, and they paid me out a bunch of money. And rather than take that money and get the hail dents fixed on my car, let's take it and go to Texas. So it was just like, when you make a decision that, hey, I'm going to do this, like with Thailand, I told that guy, I'm going to Thailand. I had taken 0 steps to get myself there. But just putting it out there and saying that, hey, I'm going to do this, just made it click, made it happen. It's just, there's something about when you have a desire, when you have a strong enough desire for something, the world just puts these crazy coincidences, like a big hailstorm, into play, and then all of a sudden you can make it happen. But you have to have that certain kind of open-minded willingness to just say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to find a way to do it. And it's so much easier. And definitely I used to be the type of person that would say, oh, I can't do that because of this and because of that. And because of, I don't have money, I don't have a passport, I've never traveled all by myself. Why would I do this? It wouldn't be something that I would do. And I used to be that kind of person. I was like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do, these things are not possible for me. And when I had this shift where it was like, anything is possible. Everything is possible. And when you think and look at the world that way, it's amazing the coincidences and the people that show up in your life that help you to make it happen. But when you come up with, when there's an opportunity like that, if you have this shift of attitude of, instead of why you can't do it, coming up with the question, how can I do it? And when you take that question of, I want to do this, how can I do it? And just by that simple shift of asking the question, how can I, rather than why can't I? If you ask that different question, it can happen. Anything can happen. And I'm living proof of it. I've seen it in my life so many times. And yeah, so I got all my investment back and I took it, I reinvested it in this trip to Thailand, and now it's this cool reality show that you can watch on the internet, and I'll put a link below this video and you should check it out. And I'm just like super excited that I got to go to Chicago, I got to go to Minneapolis, I got to go to Phoenix, I got to tour a big solar power plant, I got to go to Las Vegas, I got to go to Thailand. And all of those things just happened in this last year. And it's just mind-blowing. And with the things that I've been doing and continuing to doing and doing it persistently, and I'm not giving up, I'm not going back, I'm just moving forward. And because of that, I know that 2014 is going to be the best year ever. not ever. It's going to be the best year so far. And so because of that, I just want to share my experience, and I just want to show other people, hey, you can take advantage of these kind of opportunities when they arise in your life. There's no reason why you can't. You need to ask how you can. And it will happen. You can make things happen in your life. Don't give your power to other people. It's yours. As soon as you say, well, I can't because my boss won't give me the time off work. Well, you've just given your power away to your boss. So don't do that. It's your power. Keep it for yourself. And I guess basically, yeah, what my biggest goal is to just show people what's possible for them. Because I think a lot of people aren't even aware of the possibilities. I think a lot of people grew up and kind of learned and decided that, hey, anything isn't possible. That whole you can do anything, you can be anything, that was BS. It wasn't. Never was. But things happen, people get discouraged, and they let people rob them of their power. And so what I really, really am looking forward to this year is the fact that I will be able to, in an easy way, I kind of always wanted to do this. Like, for example, my sister, when I win the lottery, I want to build this water park and da-da-da-da-da. And she lives in she lives near a kind of lakeside community where it's, you know, boating and fishing, and like it's a lot of people from the city have cabins and cottages on the lake, and they come stay there in the summer and that kind of thing. And so she's like, yeah, I want to build this. When I win the lottery, I'm going to build this water park and da-da-da-da in our lake community, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, well, maybe you should make a better plan for that than just winning the lottery. Like, it's a really cool idea. No. That's too much effort. No. If I don't win the lottery, well, then I'm just not going to do it. And it's like, how do I help her to see that, no, you don't need the lottery. You can make it happen. Where there's a will, there's a way. And how do I get her to understand that she can do that? And now, she's not interested. But if she was, and if anybody is interested in figuring out how to say, well, I gotta go.